Good morning. Welcome to Frank's School, 177th day of the fourth year. First video. Waterlove 5, Bisses. Well, I'm going to show Bisses, the books I have about Bisses tomorrow. I have too much to say here, and I'm sorry about the focus. I don't think it matters that much. I read aloud what, I'm going to straighten that camera up just a little bit. I read aloud what I'd most like you to be able to see. So, sorry, but anyway, so it is. Wanted to mention Evangeline in Longfellow's poem. I should have maybe found a copy of it and read to you, but in his poem about the French settlers in Canada, at one point he describes a water meadow, in effect, a technique where they let the sea wander at will over the meadows and then turned it off. I turned it back out, the water. I really should have found it. Maybe I'll show that to you in the books. History and Future of Water. I should underline that because there's a movie, a documentary. I had paid $80. That was a lot of money for me at the time to have a history of water, the VHS tape. I imported it from Norway. It was made in Norway. Now you can find it online, and I see it on television now and then. And there's the future of water as well. It's very good. And you'll see a Biss in the first episode. History of Water almost begins with a Biss, but in Nepal, or maybe it's Pakistan, in the Himalayas. I always tried to show my students that when I was teaching public school. Petra, City of Stone. I just watched this the other morning on television, a documentary, Nova. And it deals with the water system that made the city of Petra possible, and it refers to ancient water systems. There's a lot of stuff out there which you could find it. Now back to this is more sort of personal. I had said about cities. I look at villages and cities in terms of water. I think I told you that. Well, Nice, for example, when I was in Nice, I found where the water had originally been brought to Nice. Interesting for me. In Paris, there's an aqueduct. It's not, people, when they go to Paris, they don't go to see the aqueduct really, but it's there, and I saw it at a distance. I sort of wish I'd seen it more. That aqueduct, though, that you see was done, maybe 300, 400 years ago, over what the Romans had done. Vienna is famous for its water system. I don't know if I'll ever get to Vienna, I'm not sure, but it is renowned, the water supply that comes to Vienna. I don't only know a little bit about that. Venice, I have to wonder. I've been at Venice, water everywhere, but where does their drinking water come from? It must be boated in the old times, I suppose. I can't imagine they would have drunk maybe they just drank wine. Roman baths, well, in my travels in Paris, if you go to the museum, the Cluny, it's called, that is put right on the same place where there was a Roman bath, and you can study it. Coimbra, which just 3 months ago with the Hawklings, I was there. There were the Romans' baths, and Caracalla again. Oh, I know, this is called Engineering and Empire, the Romans. And toward the end, it comes to Caracalla. I can't say it. Anyway, the baths that he built, and it's very good. I suppose it must be online. Engineering and Empire, the Romans. And it deals very much with what the Romans did with water, of course. But anyway, they're baths. Now, canals. I mentioned canals. Here in Cumberland, which is just south of here, they had built a canal from Washington all the way to Cumberland. We took students to see it one time on a field trip. Makes a lovely bike ride if you're willing to do the distance. Here, Hollidaysburg, north of here, there was a canal that was dug from Harrisburg to Hollidaysburg. So many people don't even know about these anymore. There's a Hudson Canal. I followed it one time. From Pennsylvania to Connecticut. It's an unusual way to drive because the road is not the standard road anymore. But the road really goes along a canal that was dug to bring the coal from the Pennsylvania mines across across the mountains to the Hudson, where it could bring it down then to New York City. The Grand Canal in China, that is just, it could blow your mind. As a matter of fact, what China has done with water is a subject which I barely even, I mention it, okay? But there's so much to see. And the Pontine Marshes. You certainly never heard of the Pontine Marshes. Or the Po river valley in Italy. The draining of the Pontine Marshes was a real big deal for the Romans, and it goes on to now. I had said irrigation and drainage go together. This was all about drainage. Same thing with the Po river valley, which produced some of the most fertile land in all of Europe when they successfully drain an area like that. All right, now Bisses. That was all about what I'd said before, Bisses. I'm going to show you the books tomorrow. I have too much to say about it. These numbers all refer to videos of mine. I'm not going to give you the links in the description. If you really want to, you could probably find them. This is me talking about Bisses. I knew that I had discussed this subject before somewhere in the course, and I found where it was. And anyway, at a certain point, this is the video where you can best see myself. Well, I guess, I don't know if you see me, but you see my daughter. And we're walking along a bis above the Swiss city of Brieg. And, you know, I'm sort of proud of it in a way, because it, you know, I can, with the camera, I can take you there and I can show you what it looks like. But I defer completely to these videos. Shirley has done it again. Shirley Hockling, my co-producer, my traveling companion, my friend, she has done it again. She found a link. Randonnée en montagne. It's actually the blog, I guess it's a blog, is in Portuguese, but some of it's in English. Now, I've put all this stuff here because I want to make sure that you find this. I can do no better than this. The first time that I ever walked along a bis was in the company of a Swiss friend named Pierre, and my wife was with me. But I didn't have a video camera at the time. But what we walked along might as well have been this one. I've never walked along the Bis de Lens. It was the Bis de Haut where we actually walked, but it looked about the same. However, there are improvements. There's a rope and there's a guardrail, and it's sort of safer, much safer than what Jane and I walked along. But anyway, I'm going to give you the link in the description, and if for any reason that doesn't work, if you search into the Alps along Bis de Lens or Randonnée en montagne, Vallon de la Lienne, you'll be able to find it. And I guess maybe one other thing I'll do now, so that I don't have to worry about it before. Let me give you a string of words. I already gave you bis. Well, in Spanish and in Portuguese, they're called levadas. They're also called vala. I might have shown you this before, or a singular would be val. In the Tyrol, they're called Wasserleitungen. Oh, Wasserleitung. If it's plural, that would be in German. They're called Suonen in the German part of Switzerland. Acequias. Actually, that might be the Portuguese. Acequias in Spain and in Peru. And I maybe am leaving some out. But those are words which, you know, if you got interested in this subject, it could be life-changing in the vacationing you do in the future. There are words that you could Google. All right, the next time we're going to go over and I'll show you the book. Sadly, it'll probably once again be out of focus, but at least you'll be able to see inside these books. Bye for now.